What's up, everybody? It's Alex. Awesome viewer question today, and it's an easy one, so I thought I would also pick some low-hanging fruit. Today's question came from Dom, and Dom said, Alex, I was surprised to hear you say dealers loved used bikes. I guess profit margins are greater, or are they just easier to move? Short answer, yes. So most dealers love used bikes for several reasons. First of those reasons being, yes, used motorcycles as well as used cars tend to be more profitable by a long shot than brand new vehicles. Reason for that being several factors. One, brand new vehicles you will have a lot more competition on no matter what it is. There's going to be other dealers out there, other people out there selling exactly the same vehicle, brand new, same color, same everything. So then it becomes a price war, competition, all that kind of jazz, right? Used motorcycles, used cars too, but used motorcycles, each one tends to be kind of its own thing. There might be other similar models out there, like say you're selling a used SV650. There might be other used SV650s out there. They might not be exactly the same year, exactly the same color, exactly the same mileage, exactly the same condition. There's a lot of factors involved. So typically, competition not quite so high on particular used motorcycles. Also, your profit margins tend to be better because most dealers give somewhere around an average trade-in value for a used motorcycle. You know, that's going to fluctuate some, but they're going to give somewhere in the neighborhood of an average trade-in value for a used motorcycle. And then they're going to try to sell that used motorcycle for average used retail, which typically will be 15 to 20% higher than the average trade-in value was. So a lot of dealers like used motorcycles because they just tend to be more profitable, all things being equal in trade-ins, etc. Because typically dealers are going to shoot to make. They may not get there, and some dealers may be greedy and shoot higher. You never know. But dealers are typically going to shoot to make somewhere between 15 to 20% on a used motorcycle. Secondly, used motorcycles tend to be less expensive than brand new motorcycles, which again makes them more attractive and easier for dealers to move in a lot of cases. People kind of know that with a new motorcycle, you're going to take an immediate depreciation hit. A lot of times people don't care because they want that shiny new, no one's ever ridden it before, but a lot of people know that, so they shoot for used motorcycles, if nothing else, just because it's less expensive and you're not going to take that initial hit in value. Third reason dealers tend to love used motorcycles. Taking in a used motorcycle typically means that dealer got to move a brand new motorcycle. And dealers love getting rid of brand new motorcycles. Whether they like to lead on that or not, whether they act like they don't, trust me, if you are buying a brand new motorcycle, the dealer loves you for it. You are doing them a massive favor. Dealers get incentives from different manufacturers on moving a certain number of brand new motorcycles. They might get better rebates. They might get better floor plan. Also, if you're buying a brand new motorcycle and trading in a used motorcycle, dealers are moving a bike off their floor plan. If you don't know what that is, most dealers don't own their brand new motorcycle inventory. Some do, but most dealers have that inventory financed on a floor plan. So they are paying interest to keep all those motorcycles there instead of outright buying them from the manufacturers. So if you buy a brand new motorcycle, you're getting one off of their floor plan, they're paying less interest, and they're getting your used motorcycle. So that's another reason dealers love used motorcycles, because getting them in typically means they're moving new ones out. Another reason most dealers, at least smart dealers, love used motorcycles is they generate traffic. Used motorcycles are actually really good at driving traffic to a dealer, whether that's online or people seeing it online, coming there in person. Used motorcycles, because they're less expensive and more sought after, they're really good. If a dealer has a lot of used motorcycles, that's very good at generating interest and generating traffic to that dealer that then might be converted over to a new motorcycle. Say someone sees that same used SV650 on the internet, they visit the dealer to look at it, there might be a brand new SV650 there as well that maybe the dealer knows how to put that person on for, less a month financed instead of spending the money out of pocket. There are a myriad of reasons, a myriad of ways that dealers will use to move you from a used bike to a new bike. But just suffice it to say, dealers, at least smart dealers, love used motorcycles because they are really good at generating more traffic and more interest. More traffic and more interest, one way or another, whether it's used or new or anything like that, generally equals more sales for the dealer. Another reason that dealers love used motorcycles is service revenue. Used motorcycles, when they come in on trade, etc., generally are going to need something. Either something is broken and needs fixed, or they need some type of servicing. Maybe they just need a tire, maybe they need a chain, who knows. But used motorcycles are almost always going to need something. And I will tell you from experience, when I worked at a dealer, when I was running a sales department, almost no used motorcycle that I sent down to my service department for an inspection needed less than a couple $100s of things as far as service was concerned. Sometimes they didn't actually need that much, but service was always pretty sure they needed at least a couple $100s worth of work. So dealerships tend to love used motorcycles also for the service revenue that they generate. So a lot of times those repairs that are done to the used motorcycle, or the service done to the used motorcycle, will then be added on to whatever they're going to charge for the motorcycle and will be passed on to the customer. Some really good dealers just eat that cost and do not pass it on, but a lot of dealers are going to tag that on there in a reconditioning fee, refurbishing fee. If you ever see any of those kind of fees, that's what that is them charging the customer for the fact that they had to do some services to the used motorcycle. On top of that, used motorcycles typically will have some miles on them, right? Which means they probably will be back in for a servicing much sooner than a new motorcycle, except for the fact that new motorcycles generally need a break-in service pretty quick. So new motorcycles should come back in for a servicing pretty quick, but you would be surprised how many people don't take their bike back in as quick as they should for that break-in service. I'm not really sure why that is. You really should do that. That's probably the most important service your entire life of that motorcycle. Anyway, there are more reasons why dealers, at least smart ones, tend to love used motorcycles, but that's enough for now. Just suffice it to say, understand, when you're trading a motorcycle to a dealer, whether they act like they want it or not, dealers, smart ones, want your trade-in, because that's going to let them move a new motorcycle. That's going to give them something that they typically can make a higher profit margin on, that will move faster, that they will probably also make a little bit of service money on. And it's another thing that helps them drive traffic to their dealerships, which in today's day and age, every motorcycle dealer desperately needs worse than anything else. So I hope that explained it. That's used motorcycles. That's why dealers love it. That's why when I worked for a dealer, I loved used motorcycles too, because they were easier to move and they just made more money, okay? Boil it down to that. They're easier to move and they tend to make more money, okay? I'm Alex. Peace.